I'm Dave Greenwood, and this is Overcoming Distractions. If you are an adult with ADHD, a busy professional, an entrepreneur, a high achiever, or just need some strategies to navigate your adult ADHD, you're in the right place. Who am I? I'm an entrepreneur with ADHD and the author of 2 books, Overcoming Distractions and Overcoming Burnout. I coach and mentor people just like you, and together we navigate the ups and downs of adult ADHD. From getting out of our own way to helping people just like you thrive in the workplace. That's what I do. Want more info on working with me? Hit overcoming-distractions.com. Ready? Let's get to today's podcast. Hey, all my distracted friends, what's going on? It is Dave. You're the busy professional with ADHD. You're in a demanding career. You're a high achiever. You just happen to have a distracted brain. You're in the right place. And I'm so glad you are able to hang out with us just for a few minutes to get a few nuggets of advice, inspiration, things you can take action on. That is why we're here, and we dig right into it. So this week it's just me, and I want to chat about overcommitting. And I'm not sure if that rings a bell to you, right? We are ADHDers, and we overcommit sometimes. So how many of you feel overcommitted right now? Have you committed too much to other people, organizations? Have you made too many commitments to yourself? Hey, by the way, some massive military helicopter just went overhead. So if you're hearing a little bit of rumble in the background, that's what you get here. You get real podcasting. You get real life. So, and that helicopter is gone. So anywho, like I said, have you made too many commitments to yourself? One of the areas in which those of us with ADHD are challenged with is overcommitting. Many of us have that default, yes. I know you know what I'm talking about. And it is probably partly because it's the people pleaser in us. So I think if we just took 5 minutes and sat quietly, we'd realize that maybe we don't like to say no. Sure, we want to be the person that others can rely on, but that is only sustainable for so long. Over time, overcommitting starts to get in the way of our meaningful productivity, and I think that's just the start of it. Forget missing time with family, friends, time to do other things maybe not related to work, like maybe hang out in your yard or your garden, or go hang out with friends, what have you, go enjoy a nice dinner. Having that habit of overcommitting long term is also another factor that makes us feel burned out. I mean, there are people out there that say burnout is not our fault. However, if you continue to overcommit, then that's on you. So I disagree with people that say that burnout isn't your fault. There are things you can change if you work on it. And that's in a lot of areas of our lives. Maybe telling somebody you can handle something feels good at the time, but when it comes down to that, if we're stressed out and overcommitted, then as you know, some of us regret it. And I know you're thinking about a couple things that you overcommitted to and said, yeah, I really wish I could have said no to this. And that's when we realized we're overcommitted and we're over capacity. Overcommitting is a big challenge for especially people with ADHD, but busy people like you with ADHD, and we need to protect ourselves from our habits of continuing to do this. So let's walk through some simple strategies and some questions you can ask yourself to possibly just reduce some of the commitments, or protect yourself a little bit from just saying yes super quick. doing that, you're going to get some of your time back, your energy back. You're going to lower your stress. You're going to have more time to do the things that you actually do need to do. And I think by doing this, you're going to be able to decide whether the commitment you're faced with was a good choice. Is your choice good for business? Is it good for your career? Are you going to learn something? Or is it something that you really wanted to do? So we need to kind of analyze that, but we need to take, excuse me, a little bit of time to actually process that. So first question I think you could ask yourself is, am I saying things out of guilt, some obligation you think you have? Maybe it's a fear of missing out. Or again, is it something you really wanted to do? What emotions come up when you think about saying no? And I think this is going to kind of help you identify any type of, even if it's a little fear or pressures that lead us to overcommitment. If I had no fear of disappointing others, what decisions could I make differently, right? So if we got good at saying no, how would that change your life? And I think that's going to help you clarify whether your choices of the things you commit to are based on any type of desire or just some external pressure, perceived or not, right? And whose expectations am I trying to meet? That's going to help you understand those external pressures and whether they're driving the train or not, right? On the flip side, real quick, is this beneficial to you? We don't have to say no to everything. So I'm not, don't listen to this and say, oh, Dave said just say no, right? There are opportunities out there that you need to analyze. And sometimes we do say yes to the right things. So my goal today in our short time together is for you to kind of analyze and understand what you actually can say no to so you can get the right things done and be fulfilled by the right things. What commitments feel stressful right now? I'm sure as you sit here, you have a bunch of commitments that you are somewhat obligated to do, correct? Obviously, you've got your career, your job, your business, if you're an ADHD business owner. What are those obligations that you actually dread the most, and why? I can tell you that in my years of running a public relations and marketing firm, there were a handful of things that I dreaded, and it typically had to do with a certain select few clients, let's put it that way. But when you ask, what are the things that you dread, it's gonna help you understand what's draining your energy, what tasks, what types of patterns, right? What's gonna trigger some type of stress. So what are those obligations do you dread the most? If I could eliminate one recurring commitment, what would that be, right? If you're overcommitted, I believe that you've either got to just get the thing done or drop it if you can actually get away with it. So the other thing that I think is super important, and it's something that I constantly analyze in my, business and professional life, is what you're being asked to do or what you're considering doing, because you're not always asked to do something if you're going to commit to it. It could be something you're interested in. Is that going to align with your long-term goals? And if you can get good at just asking yourself this real quick, it's going to help you understand, where you spend your time that's actually going to truly matter, rather than just committing to a bunch of obligations. I think one important exercise for us to go through, and we've talked about this before, is to understand where your commitments, are going to go, where they're going to lie. If I'm going to work on this aspect of my business, if what I'm being asked, does it align with that? If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to decide to decline. So for example, if you're running a business with ADHD, or you're in a high demanding career, if you've determined what lanes you're going to stay in, like these are the projects I'm going to work on, these are the things that are good for business, if it doesn't fall into that, then you've got a decision to make. So next thing, if you are sitting here right now and you're saying, wow, my schedule is packed, I got so many things going on, what's one thing you could just say no to this week? Is there anything you can do to like today, for example, to like protect your time, your energy? Something simple. Can you shut off Slack for a few hours, right? Something like that. And what's the worst that's going to happen if you actually, do shut off Slack or decline a request? That's going to help you reframe and assess the rationale for like saying no, so to speak. For example, am I going to get fired? Am I going to lose a client? Am I going to get pulled in? The client's going to yell at me, or my boss is going to say, "Why didn't you do this?" You're going to have to be the judge of that. I can't be the judge of that sitting so far away from you. But what's the worst that can happen if you actually decline something simple? These are the little things that you can actually do to, just reduce the commitments in real time, right? How would it feel? How would it feel to say no? What are you going to gain by doing that? What's the personal or benefits of protecting your time? Obviously, it's you get a little more time and energy back. Maybe you're a little less stressed. But these are, this is like a boundary conversation, which I know we've had before. But these are the things in real time that you got to test gently. And I'm a firm believer in just kind of like gently testing boundaries, so to speak. You don't go for the big, huge ask when you've never set boundaries, whether it's in work or, you're in business with ADHD and you're setting a massive boundary with a client. You risk that backfiring. So, but if you test a little bit, then you can understand what you can reasonably work with. So, or quite frankly, get away with. I think another thing, I know we've asked this before, I'm sure you've heard this before, obviously, but, when I say yes to something, what am I saying no to, right? And maybe it's unknowingly, maybe you just don't know that, but what are the personal priorities that are being sacrificed on a regular basis for these obligations? Is it your kids, your family, your mental health, your stress level, your physical health, right? Do you decide to commit to something and then not go to the gym or not take that walk? The work that really needs to get done, right? So, am I going to be working all night because I overcommitted myself now? That's going to help what's being neglected and whether you need to kind of realign your priorities. Am I saying yes out of genuine enthusiasm to avoid a little bit of discomfort? I know I've been there for many years. I would never say no because I was afraid of that kind of discomfort. I thought maybe somebody was going to be mad at me or they wouldn't trust me anymore. Are you just afraid of that person's reaction? Are we anticipating like a negative reaction that maybe doesn't even exist? We just kind of have it in our minds, right? I know a lot of times with clients when I actually had to give them like a hard no on something, like maybe I couldn't show up at a certain time, nothing happened. So I think we overthink and overanalyze some of this stuff sometimes. And how often do you actually like check your capacity before committing to something? Do you like take a pause? Like, does somebody ask you to do something and can you just say, hey, I got to get back to you. I just got to check my schedule. I got to see where I'm at with my projects. That's going to help you be a little more intentional when it comes to your commitments. And I think one of the last things you can ask yourself is, can I just give myself permission to prioritize my own needs, my own wants, my own projects or my goals, right? I have a favorite saying, and this has always been with like exercise and going to the gym and things, but nobody's going to miss you for an hour. And I'm super super confident of that. Nobody's going to miss you for an hour. They don't know where you are, right? If you just shut off Slack, or you didn't respond to email for an hour or two, or maybe you jumped out at lunch and went to the gym or took a walk, nobody's going to miss you. I'm almost confident of that. What's a way you can just show up for yourself this week? If you're feeling overcapacity right now, what's just one thing you can do to show up for yourself? Is it going to the gym? Is it walking? Is it leaving work a little early? Grabbing dinner and drinks with friends, hitting a yoga class, binging on Netflix on a rainy Saturday, right? Sometimes we need to be selfish. So, and I think the last thing, what do you believe about putting yourself first? And you could ask yourself, do I deserve it? And I can answer this for you right now. You actually do deserve it. You need it. So don't think that you don't deserve putting yourself first. I talk with people all the time, people I work with one-on-one, when they're in a kind of a nutty situation at work or with business. And I always tell people that you need to be selfish. And I don't mean in a negative way. I mean that sometimes you get to a point where you really just need to put yourself first. And if you are that busy adult with ADHD, you're in that demanding career, maybe you're a high achiever, you got a lot of things going on, you got kids, you got family, other obligations, putting yourself first is, I believe, mission critical, and it's non-negotiable. Because if you continue down a path of overcommitting, it is going to catch up with you. I more than guarantee it. So that's it. So if you're feeling overcommitted, I hope you have taken away just a little bit from our brief time together today. If you need to work on some of this stuff and you need somebody to talk it through, and you're that busy adult with ADHD, you're in a demanding career, things are maybe could be better for you, then just hop on my website, overcoming-distractions.com. Hit that little button right on the homepage that says book a 15-minute call with Dave. We'll hop on Zoom, we'll chat, we'll see if we're a good fit. And I would love the opportunity to work with you and help you navigate some of the ups and downs of being that super busy adult with ADHD. All right, gang, I'll catch you next time.